Hey, amazing people. Welcome to the new lecture, Critical Thinking. If you want to understand your subject very well, you need critical thinking. If you want to understand your organization very well, you need to understand critical thinking. If you want to understand the people around you, you need critical thinking. In conclusion, if you want to be a successful teacher, a student, a professional, or an excellent human being, you need to develop critical thinking skills. So, let's get started. Okay guys, let's start our video lecture. The role of critical thinking in personal and professional development. Let me first define what the critical thinking is. Critical thinking is the ability to think clearly and rationally about what to do or what to believe. Basically, critical thinking involves two important things, that is reflective thinking and independent thinking, because it makes you an independent thinker. In other words, critical thinking is the ability to distinguish between valid and invalid information sources. Now, how are you going to do that? How you are going to distinguish valid and invalid information sources? That you can be able to do that through reasoning, the process of reasoning. Now, what is reasoning? It's simply an objective analysis and evaluation of something. Reasoning is what distinguishes us from animals. As you know, many of animals can see better, can hear better, and are stronger than us. But they cannot plan, they cannot think rationally with reason. So critical thinking helps us to unlock the facts that are deeper level, that are at deeper level. Let me explain through some of the images that will be easy to understand. What do you see here? Do you see a duck, or do you see a rabbit, or do you see both? And what did you see first? Let me show you another one. What do you see here? How many birds are there? Are there two birds or is there one bird? So if you have a closer look, you would see that there's only one bird. The other one is just a combination of dry and green leaves. Here is another one. What is there? What do you see? If you have some deeper level look, you would see that this old man is not only the old man, but actually there is, on the right side, there's a woman perhaps carrying a child, and then on the left there's another old man standing with the support of a stick, and then there's a dog sleeping perhaps on the floor, and etc. This picture shows that there are multiple viewpoints what we cannot see at the initial level. This is what we need. This is why we need critical thinking, as critical thinking helps you in your personal, professional, academic, and intellectual development. The importance of critical thinking. Thinking critically is a defense against a world of too much information and too many people trying to convince you. We are bombarded by tons of information through TV programs, social media, newspapers, friends, circles, and etc. It's very hard to distinguish what is right and what is not. Critical thinking develops a mechanism within us that helps us to recognize these things using logic and reasoning. And what happens if there is absence of critical thinking? It can lead to many social problems such as corruption, bribery, political turmoil, rivalry, economic downturn, and etc. And faulty critical thinking can lead to wrong conclusions. Let me give you some examples. Still, there's a large number of people in different corners of the world who still believe that Neil Armstrong never landed on the moon, and that nobody has been to moon yet, and they consider it's a wrong belief. And there are a lot of people also in different parts of the world who think that there's no such issue like a global warming. So these are the examples of faulty critical thinking, and that leads to wrong conclusions. So, in order to develop critical thinking skills, we should have a valid and strong argument. Now, let me explain shortly what an argument is. Perhaps in your experiences, the word argument means disagreement, or maybe contradiction, shouting, quarreling, or insulting someone. But the argument that we are going to discuss is a different one. An argument is a set of statements that includes two or more claims, called premise or premises and conclusion. So I would make a separate video only on argument sometime later. But here let me explain how many types of claims are there. So there are four types of claims: subjective, objective, descriptive, and prescriptive claim. As it's very obvious from their name, subjective reflects the personal thinking of someone, the biases. Objective is something called impersonal thinking. Descriptive describes what is, while the prescriptive claim describes or prescribes sort of idea, advice, or belief system. It prescribes what it should be, what the situation should be. For example, John says to his friend, abortion is wrong. So it's clear from his statement that John thinks that wrong means no one should do it. So John is not speaking about how the world is, but he is speaking how it should be. And you need to distinguish very well between these two types of people, critical thinker and critical person, because there's a huge lot of difference between these. We are striving to be a critical thinker, not to be a critical person. So what is the difference? Critical thinker asks questions to learn, while critical person asks questions to embarrass. Same way, critical thinker looks at things from different perspectives, while critical person looks at things from one perspective only, and that perspective is his or her own perspective. So a whole lot of different questions. Let me read last one. Critical thinker contributes to innovation, hope, and high morale, while critical person contributes to fear, pessimism, and low morale. So we have to be very careful that what we are going to be, critical person or critical thinker. Critical thinking is actually the process that leads you to development and to learn more and to be a better person or better professional or academic in your life. So there are different roles of critical thinking in our everyday life. It has a big contribution. For example, critical thinking enables us to make wise decisions and avoid foolish personal decisions. It helps us to be well informed and know how to make logical, rational, and valid decisions. Same way, it helps us to be able to develop our own point of view. As far as the role of professional is concerned, it helps us to know that there are multiple perspectives in organizations. It encourages us to be open-minded for change. It solves problems systematically, and it also empowers us to reflect on the justification of our own decisions, practices, beliefs, and values. For a student, it's equally important in their lives, whether it's secondary education, higher education, undergrad or graduate level. It helps students to understand the arguments, perspectives, and beliefs of others, and then critically evaluate the arguments and beliefs of the others. It also helps to detect inconsistencies in arguments, whether it's spoken or whether it's in a written form. It also enables students to develop and defend our own belief system, as well as develop the arguments to support our belief system. So how to enhance the critical thinking skills? Here are some questions that I have provided here in order to evaluate whether which stage we are in critical thinking skills. So the question, what is happening? So in this, we need to gather the basic information and begin to think of different questions regarding any issue, any problem or social problem or family problem that we are facing. The second, why is it important? Any problem, why is it so important? Ask yourself, why is it significant? Whether or not you agree. The third one, what don't I see? Is there anything important that is missing that still I'm yet to see? And then, what do I know? Ask yourself where the information came from and how it was constructed. So these are the questions that are very important in order to develop your critical thinking skills. Here are another list of common questions. Basic thing is that you have to start with the 5 W's and 1 H, or 6 W's, whatever you call. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So I have listed some of the questions that you can practice in order to improve and increase your critical thinking skills. In the end, let me show you the list of the books that I have referred while preparing this lecture. Feel free to download or read them as well. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask or comment down below. If you want to learn more, do not hesitate to contact me through the email that I have provided below. And guys, if you like the video, please like and share it with your friends and consider subscribing it. Thanks. See you soon.